the first place I want to start is with first impressions.
Yeah.
And how one can make a great first impression. Because first impressions are like, I make them all day, every day. When I meet people on the podcast, in business, in the street, at the gym, someone might listen to the show, they come up to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm constantly trying to think about how to make a better first impression.
Mm-hmm.
Because from the work that I've read of yours, they really matter, right?
They really matter. They really matter.
How much?
Our first impressions are actually very accurate. They find 76% accurate with our personality traits. In other words, people can accurately guess after a first impression how extroverted you are, how agreeable, how neurotic. Actually, neurotic is the hardest one to guess. We can hide that really well. Openness and conscientiousness. We're pretty good at guessing that. Like I could guess that based on just the first few seconds of interaction, which means they're lasting. So if you've made a bad first impression, it's hard to recover. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. We can work on it. But nailing that first impression will set you up for a lifetime of success with that person. So it's very important that we don't throw them away. And this is the number one mistake people make in a first impression. They do it like this. Oh, hi, nice to meet you. Looking down at their phone or their iPad or their computer or their notepad or their book. When we are looking down, it looks very much like the universal defeat posture. Universal defeat is when we tuck our chin to our chest. We usually have our very little space between our shoulders and our earlobes. We have our arms close to our sides. Don't you feel kind of horrible? You look horrible.
Oh, thank you.
Look. When you check your phone, every time you check your phone, you accidentally look like a loser. And I mean that literally in terms of losing and winning. So in a first impression, you're waiting in the waiting room for a big job interview. You're waiting for your date, for possibly your perfect person. And what are you doing? Checking your phone.
So I'm sat there looking like a loser.
Yeah, that first impression that happens in the first few seconds of seeing you, and this is another mistake introverts make, they think their first impression starts the moment they start talking. No, your first impression happens the moment someone first sees you. That's when they walk into a room, open the door, walk into a restaurant, or look at your profile picture. Profile pictures are even more important. They've found that people make a first impression of you within the first 100 milliseconds of looking at your profile picture. That's so fast that you barely even realize you saw a picture. But we are so attuned to look at someone's facial expressions, their body posture, what's visible, our clothing, our ornaments. And what's fascinating about this research is they found that different pictures of the same person can give different first impressions, which means we are in control of our first impressions. If different pictures of the same person, like if you have 5 different pictures of yourself and you put them up on different LinkedIn profiles, people are going to make different judgments of you, which means you can control the kind of judgment you want to make by picking the right picture, but also having the right body language when someone first sees you.
Someone did a study on that?
Yeah, I think Simin Vazir, did this study. Yeah. Don't quote me, but I believe Simin Vazir does a lot on digital first impressions. And what's incredible is that small tweaks to your cues can have a massive impact on your impression. So for example, I've played around with this on mine where I'll have my hand in my picture. Like there's a big difference. If you were to see me like this with my face on my hand, it's called a face platter.
Okay, so for anyone that can't see you, you've got both of your hands out and your chin resting in the middle of them.
It's called a face platter, right? Think of like my face on a platter for anyone who's listening. This is a very different impression than this. Like same face platter, warm, almost feminine, kind of girly, versus this, very professional, very competent. Just that one difference. So all these cues are changing, especially if your first impression is happening on dating profile apps, on LinkedIn, in your email, like a little picture in your email, your website. It is changing the way people treat you and think of you.
Okay, so let me show you some profile photos.
I would love to see.
And you tell me what they're giving.
Oh, right.
Okay, what is this giving?
Okay, so she's leaning her head to one side with her cheek on her hand. First, immediately, a head tilt. Head tilt is a universal sign of engagement and warmth. She's giving me nurturing vibes. Don't you want to tell her all your problems? Like I would guess she's a therapist or a life coach. She has a watch on, which is a good ornament for competence. So she's probably a therapist or maybe a psychoanalyst, probably has a degree. She also wears glasses. We like women in glasses and makeup for very competent. It actually ups our competence factor. By the way, this is just the research, not my opinion. And she has a sweater tied around her top, and that's very conservative. So I would say warm and nurturing, could be a grandmother, likely in a self-help profession.
Correct.
So some cues there we can learn from is we want to balance out the friendliness, the warmth, the approachability with the take me seriously. So you take her seriously because of her watch and her glasses and her lack of a smile. Okay. Those are all cues of competence. We like that. We also like those cues of warmth, head tilt, hand on face, and a soft smile. So in that way, it's a perfect balance or blend.
What about this guy? Profile photo.
Okay, so we are seeing a gentleman with no hands. So we see no hand gestures, just his face. He's also tilting his chin down and his forehead is forward. You also see a genuine smile. The best thing about this picture is he's doing an authentic smile because you can see those cheek muscles are activated. His upper zygomaticus. Terrible at saying that, but these muscles are activated. So very likable. Oh yeah, I like that. Good job. Yes. I love this smile. So we love that authentic smile. So he's very warm and approachable. He's also making eye contact with the camera, slight head tilt. I would actually say this is very warm, almost too warm. If he is a doctor or a professor or someone who needs to be taken seriously, I don't know if I'd go to him with my problems. It's a lot of warmth for that photo. And by the way, I want to make this as helpful for folks at home. So think of your impression like a thermostat. You can dial up your trust and your approachability by adding cues. So if you want to add warmth or trust or likability, you can add a head tilt. You can show your hands. Movement is also one. So sometimes you'll see people who are like leaning their head over to the side or even in the process of a walk. That's why all those photographers use wind. Yeah. It actually adds like this weird element of warmth. If you want to dial up competence, power, if you want to be taken seriously, especially if you're in a career where you've been challenged or interrupted or not taken seriously or underestimated, you really want to dial up competence in your profile picture. Like the cover of my books, I am not smiling. And that is because I'm quite a smiley person and I want people to take me seriously. So I made a choice to not smile on my covers.
What about this chap?
All right.
This is a dating app profile photo.
Look, I love it. Okay, this guy has a cat around his neck. And you know what? I love it. Why? Because if you love cats, you're gonna love this guy. If you hate cats, you're gonna swipe. We want to make people not like us with the ornaments we choose, right? Like, I love when my husband wears a cowboy hat because certain people are gonna love it, certain people aren't gonna like it. He's gonna find his people. We're in Austin, Texas. So it would be weird if he like wore it in London or something like that.
D, what do you think?
Okay, so I do not like sunglasses in photos at all. And the reason for this is because research shows that we can produce oxytocin, which is the chemical of connection, even through a lens. When you can't see someone's eyes, it puts a little barrier in our head of like, I don't know about this person. That's chemically your body being like, I cannot see her eyes. So I'm a hard no on sunglasses. This is like, she's very distant from me. Even though she's a beautiful smile, I can't see the upper cheek muscles and I can't see her eyes.
Does that apply to real life too, the sunglasses point? Like, does it disconnect us from people?
You know, I haven't seen research on that. I've only seen research on sunglasses in photos. So I'm gonna say in person, I think it's okay. But I will say, like, have you ever been with someone and they like take off their glasses to see you better? Does that ever happen to you?
Yes.
It feels good.
Yeah, like they care.
If you wanna show someone, I'm gonna really listen to you, take off your glasses or roll up your sleeves. So there's also, we know this is a cue, is like, let's get into it. I often see like leaders when they're getting into the get into it part of their speech, they roll up their sleeves. Another one that I like is this one, rubbing your hands together.
Okay.
So this is a universal get ready cue. If you are about to share something really, really good to your team, you wanna go like this. Guys, I got something good today. You would like it. You would like it if we were in a team meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Right? You got, because it's a universal cue of warming up.
So going back then to first impressions, how do I make a really bad first impression?
A really bad first impression?
Yeah, so we'll do the bad first, then we'll do the good. You said one of the worst things one can do is to walk up on their phone, on a device, etc.
Yes. Okay, so bad is taking up as little space as possible.
Yeah.
Right? No space between our arms and our torso, no space between our shoulders and our earlobes. The second thing is hidden hands. So hands in pockets, hand to the table, hands not in shot. We like to see hands, especially right away. It makes us feel intention, right? We like know what's gonna happen. So I'm like, hi, good to see you. I put my hands, a lot of my hands are in my profile pictures. That's a bad one, is hidden hands. And the last one is avoidant gaze. We really do like to make eye contact within the first few seconds of meeting someone. It makes us feel like someone's not avoiding that oxytocin. It gives us a chemical burst of trust. They even, have people do nose sprays full of oxytocin, and it immediately makes them share more, open more, connect more. Yeah, so we want direct eye contact, visible hands, and a broad body.